Good morning, everyone. It is Monday, July 11th. I'm Lisa Budeau. Thank you for joining us for this Facebook Live, or if you're listening later on the podcast, we appreciate you. I am back from vacation. I had all of last week off, which was so nice, celebrating the 4th. I wrapped up my vacation and my week, like a lot of people, with some hail yesterday. So I would imagine a few people today maybe calling their insurance agents. There was a stretch where the hail did move through. I was on Little Cormorant Lake when the hail came in through yesterday afternoon, and I know there are several different areas that did get hail. Storm tracker meteorologist Lydia Bloom was talking about that hail and the humidity and the kind of crazy wrap up to the weekend this morning. If you don't like the humidity, today is your day, unless you don't like wind. Today's going to be very windy, up to 40 miles per hour. So if you're going to be putting your garbage cans out, you might want to hold them down, or they're going to be down the street for sure. Still a pretty warm day, 80, so not as hot, not as humid. But if you were listening this morning on First News, in her 10-day forecast, she does have some hot weather coming up again by next weekend. So a little something for everyone. Quiet as far as storms go, but windy today, mild today and tomorrow as far as hot summer weather go. You'll see 80s. So looking ahead today, there's going to be a rally outside Fargo City Hall. We're expecting dozens at least to protest the death of a Jamestown man. He was killed in that officer-involved shooting we've been reporting about here on WDAY. It happened in Fargo. Police say Fargo officer Adam O'Brien shot 28-year-old Shane Netterville as he tried to drive away from cops during a call to service last Friday morning. He later died at the hospital. Activists are expected to push Fargo police to release the body cam footage of that incident. However, we did learn this morning that Police Chief David Zabolski says that decision is actually up to the North Dakota BCI. But once again, that rally is happening this afternoon at 4 o'clock. Be sure to tune in this evening to our newscast. We'll probably be live out there. We have a 4 o'clock newscast, 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10 to get an update on, who shows up and how that rally is, handled this afternoon. And in relation to that story as well, we do have an update for you on the suspect. Fargo police, or one of the suspects, I should say. Fargo police are still looking for a suspect in that shooting as well. We do know that man now has a warrant out for his arrest in Nelson County. Fargo police tell WDAY that Derek Stanley is wanted for a probation violation there in Nelson County. Officers say Stanley, they do believe he was one of the passengers inside Netterville's van. We do have a picture. You probably did see that. You can find it on InForum.com. He's described as about 5'9" to 5'11" with short hair, medium build. If you do see him or have any information, you're asked not to approach him. Instead, of course, just call 911 right away. Also, new information this morning, Jamestown police have arrested a South Dakota man for failing to register as a sex offender. Officers say they got information on 28-year-old Lorenza Movescamp. He was living and working in Jamestown despite being an out-of-state sex offender. They actually found him at a home on Saturday. He took off running, didn't get very far, so along with failing to register, police have also booked him for fleeing and resisting arrests. A woman is dead, and 2 others are fighting for their lives after a deadly crash near Pequot Lakes. An 88-year-old woman from St. Cloud was killed at the scene. That woman's passenger, as well as the passenger in the other car, both had life-threatening injuries, had to be flown to a hospital in Duluth. We are still working to find out their conditions. That crash happened as a 56-year-old man from Nevis crashed into another car at an intersection along Highway 371 early yesterday morning. Some of the other headlines that we're following for you this morning, a lot of people, were very emotionally attached to this story. And we have an update this morning on the baby who survived that shooting outside a Fargo Mexican restaurant, that same shooting that killed his mother. Well, we're now hearing that the family of Lucia Garcia says her baby Dominique's wounds are healed, all except for his index finger. You may remember we first told you about this shooting back in May when 24-year-old Malik Gill shot 21-year-old Lucia Garcia while she was holding baby Dominique. Garcia died just a few days later. We also do know Dominique is living with his grandparents. A GoFundMe account that was set up to cover his medical expenses has raised $25,000. And no one wants to think about back to school, but NDSU back to school this fall, and NDSU's new president is taking a statewide tour ahead of the new school year. He's going to be taking off today, speaking with alumni and stakeholders across the state. David Cook is going to start that tour in Bismarck at the Laughing Sun Brewing Company from 5 to 7 tonight. But he's also going to be making stops in Watford City on Thursday, Wahpeton next Monday, and Grand Forks the following Thursday. Okay, those were some of your local headlines. We do have a couple of other headlines across the world, across the nation. A private wake will be held today. A big story that's still developing. Former Japanese Prime Minister Abe will be held today. Tomorrow there'll be a funeral service. You may have heard he was shot and killed at an outdoor campaign event on Friday. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken has already been in Japan paying respects to the Japanese people and has met with leaders today, or throughout the week, I guess, as well. Today, Attorney General Merrick Garland is expected to return to his desk at the Justice Department. This is following his prostate surgery. He underwent successful surgery, we're hearing today, for an enlarged prostate last Thursday. Released from the hospital yesterday, Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco briefly took over Garland's responsibilities while he was under anesthesia, but Garland has since resumed his duties in office. So that's a good update there this morning. The Uvalde County Sheriff is expected to testify today before the Texas panel investigating the massacre at Robb Elementary. The sheriff there, Ruben Nolasco, will participate through video teleconference to talk about the shooting. Of course, it killed 19 children, 2 teachers. He had initially refused to do so, but has since changed his mind, but that was after being issued an official notice. We're also learning this today, because I know a lot of people are they want to know more about how that could happen. A preliminary report from the Texas House Investigative Committee could be released within the next 10 days. The chairman of the committee is pushing for the report to include 77 minutes of critical hallway surveillance video. However, any video showing victims or footage of the violence is not expected to be part of that release. So stay with WDAY for an update on that story as well tonight. An update here for you. The plant at the center of that nationwide baby formula shortage is back open again. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but the Abbott formula plant in Michigan was shut down for 3 weeks. That was after it opened back up because of flooding from severe storms. That was after that months-long shutdown, of course, after the FDA inspection found deadly bacteria there. Production had only been up and running less than a couple weeks, 2 weeks, before the storm forced the plant to close again. But anyway, back open. Hopefully we can get back on track. This story as well. Right now, firefighters are racing against the clock to protect some historic trees in Yosemite National Park. The fire has already scorched more than 2,000 acres so far. It started last week. You probably heard about this. It's an area, a lot of sequoia trees, including the grizzly giant is in that area. 550 firefighters are out there trying to control the fire. An investigation is underway as well. While they're battling the fire, they're trying to figure out what started the fire as well. So we'll also keep you up to date on what's happening there. Good news for you weekend workout warriors. A new study found that packing your workout into just a couple of days, maybe just over the weekend, can still make a big difference when it comes to staying healthy and living longer. Researchers looked at 350,000 people in the U.S. between 1997 and 2013, and they found it really didn't make much of a difference if you worked out, throughout the week or if you got all those workout hours in on the weekend. They say the key is just getting the same amount of exercise, which, in case you forgot, 150 minutes of moderate to vigorous physical activity every week. Okay, Dom is in the house. He was in early this morning, and I'm excited about this. His show is going to be on, of course, Hot Mic from 9 to 11 on WDAY Extra, also on InForum.com. I'm excited because I actually heard, I think it was an interview that Dom already did, NDSU's new quarterback commit, Trey Drake. He's from Jamestown, New York. He's going to be talking about him. Why I say I'm excited, because I'm a Bison fan. If you're a Bison fan, he said he's going to work harder than anyone else you know. He's committed, says he's worked his whole life for this, and I'm very excited for him. So we're going to learn a little bit more about him on Dom's show, and also highlight the best performances of the weekend and a look ahead to the Lions All-Star games tonight. So lots happening on Hot Mic with Dom Izzo this morning. And on InForum.com, interesting read this morning. This is a Robin Hubner story. West Fargo Pregnancy Support Center expects influx of mothers after the abortion ruling. The Perry Center Maternity Home in West Fargo is one of about a dozen organizations in North Dakota that are part of the state's Alternatives to Abortion program. So great read there. You can find that at InForum.com. And remember, it's a great place to be if you want all of your local headlines, the national headlines, everything I've talked about today. In fact, talking about Dom's story and his discussion about NDSU's new quarterback commit, you can find more on inforum.com from Dom there as well. So stay connected to your community with local news. Get your first 3 months of unlimited access to inforum.com for just 99 cents for the first 3 months. So it's a great place to help keep you informed. All right, that's all for today. Be sure to tune in tonight to our newscasts, starting, like I said, right around the time the rally is starting at Fargo City Hall. We have a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6, 9, and 10. Lots of stories we'll be tracking for you throughout the day, so we hope to see you then.